Who gets better grades, males or females? A randomly selected sample of 61 female students had an average college GPA of 3.12 points with a standard deviation of 0.32 points. A randomly selected sample of 64 male students had an average college GPA of 2.9 points with a standard deviation of 0.34 points. Find the 95% confidence interval for the true mean difference between female and male college GPAs. Is there a significant difference? Okay, so in this problem, we're looking at doing a confidence interval for the true mean difference between two sample populations, right? Or sort of two samples drawn from two different populations. All right, so let's go ahead and do that by selecting the stat option in our calculator. Then we'll arrow over to where it says tests, plural, and go down to where you see, in this case, we're looking for a confidence interval for two samples. So if you scroll down, you'll see two sample z-test, two sample t-test. We're going to go further, right? And now you see the options here, number 9, two sample z interval. When you see that option, it looks like the option we need here because our sample sizes are large. We have 61 here and 64 here. If you're using the approach where you're looking at large sample sizes to determine whether you use z or t, then in this case we would use z. If you're looking for the idea of having the population standard deviations be known, then of course you would use the two sample t interval. It just depends which technique you're using to pick between z and t. We're going to choose, because of the large sample size, is z, so we're going to take option 9 there in my calculator, the one that says two sample z interval. So I hit enter, and when I come in here, I have two options here. I have either data or stats. If you highlight the data by hitting enter, you'll see that it's asking you for the lists here. It wants to know where you have the data stored. Well, we don't have our data stored in lists, so we're going to select stats. And when we select stats, it's going to ask us for summary statistics, like, for example, the standard deviation for population 1. So let's go ahead and do this subtraction in the order they specify, female and male. Let's do it that way. And so we'll start out with the female information. So it says that they had an average college GPA of 3.12, standard deviation of 0.32. So 0.32, right? For the second standard deviation for the males, it's 2.9, right? Or sorry, I should say it's standard deviation of 0.34, so 0.34. And then you're going to come down here and type in the sample mean. In this case, it would be the sample mean for females. In that case, it's 3.12, so 3.12. And then arrow down and enter the end for the first population, which will be the females. That's 61. And you go down and enter the mean for the second group. In the case of the second group, the male students, it's 2.9, so 2.9. Then you come down here and you enter the sample size. For males, it was 64. Okay, at that point, we have all of the summary data values entered, and now we need the confidence level, which is 0.95 in this problem, 95%. And then you just hit calculate. And when you do that, it gives you your interval. It's 0.1043 up to 0.3357, and that's your confidence interval. And based on that interval, we can say essentially that we think that there's a positive difference between these two. And since you did the subtraction, females minus males, it must mean that the females have a higher GPA than males. And that would be statistically significantly higher than males.